A lot of work, not a lot of room in here, but let's let it air out and we'll get to work. Let me blow that out in there. There's just junk in there. We're gonna drop grease in it. We need to put grease in here. I'll show you. It's got some grease in it, but I'll show you exactly where I'm going to get the grease from. I don't know exactly where. It's just been sitting out, and there's a lot of dirt and filth from the old grease that's been in here. Well, since I need to clean this off anyway, right, we'll use this grease. My can is kind of empty anyway, so this is just general purpose. So we're just going to grab the grease. Oh, fellas, this is wrong on oh, God. Yeah, splooge. Let me get some. We're going to harvest this grease. Now, I don't want all of it because some of it's probably got crap in it, but let's get some of this stuff off. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to go get some from the other side. And then I'm just going to, while I have my gloves on, I'll touch the camera with this glove. But we just harvested a good amount. And then I'll wipe down in there, harvest from the other side, and then we'll go back over and we'll splooge this grease in there over on the Plow. Stand by. All right, that looks better. So the bearing's moving good, nothing's jammed. We'll get that cleaned up, tomorrow after I finish our existing project. Sorry, the heat's on. It's only 64 in here. It's not bad. Let's go back over and splooge some more grease in. All right, I figure we'll kill a couple of birds with the one stone, right? I had to clean off what was there anyway, right? On the right, I needed to get to those axles. And I needed to do something with the grease. Hold on, let's just give this a blow. So we had to get rid of that grease. And there's nothing wrong with this grease for these purposes, right? And since this, I lifted it and moved it over here. It's on my lift mechanism, right? Why move this plow again? There's no reason. It's kind of heavy, so no point in continuously picking the damn thing up. We'll use this grease up here. Yeah, we'll get in here while we're here. And it kind of hardens, which is what we want. And it's going to move nice. It's going to be like hydraulic. Well, it is mostly hydraulic, but this part isn't. You can get the ram for it. You'll see what I'm talking about a little later. But this will work good. And then we'll get some more grease on these guys. We're not worried about that right now. Oh, all right. Let me move the camera again. And then we'll take this thing off. We got to remove the forks, which is easy to do. I'll see you in a minute. I don't have to go far. I don't use these bolts to lock them in so much as to just provide a little bit of adjustment and so they don't flop around. Let me sweep up a little bit and I'll blow that pinhole out and I'll get the pin out. Now I might have to lift it up a little bit. A little maybe. Yeah. Yeah, let's open the door and start it. Well, it's pretty much that simple. We have to get the pin in. Let's find the hole. Where's the hole? There it is. There's supposed to be another pin down there, but I generally don't need to put it on. Now, see, then this got some slop in it too. So let's pull that off as well. You know, little things that you could do. When I first started setting it up, I did as much as I could, but at some point you want to see if you can make things better. So this should have a shank on it. Does this have a shank on it? A little bit, yeah, see, right here. So it's not a shank, it's actually a little bit of a, like a bearing, a bushing. It's not much more room. Now I'm not gonna get another washer on there, but if we could take up a little bit of space, every little bit helps. Yeah, this'll work. That's a spring style washer. And what we can do is back it with one of these shim washers. Let's see if that works. I think I got it. Now, before I go any further, here's a nylock. So all the washers out, except for the spacer, spring spacer. And let's pull a little bit of grease off. Doesn't want to cooperate. There's still some in there. Yeah, we'll just grab it. Oh, we got a bunch. Yeah, just piss that on there. It'll be fine. I mean, nothing's going to happen to it. This isn't like a major functioning piece that, you know, if it fell off on the lawn, we would just come back and deal with bushing and bolt, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a shank bolt, I don't know, something. But I think this will work. And we got plenty of thread now into the nylock, because that's the other issue. And you just want to tighten it enough to kind of grab that bushing in there. Yeah, that's the bushing. So this is real close. And we have to loosen up a little bit, we will. Let's try it a little bit looser, just a touch. Because things that don't, you know, they're getting older and they don't want to cooperate. Yeah, that's better. Rotate it to where like a slot is. There you go. And there's very little movement here now, see? And now we're going to put a washer here on this guy, if you can see it. You might be able to see it. I'll pull you over more. There's no room now. I'm running out of room. Oh yeah, that's better. This one could use something on it too, but you're not going to get to that without pulling all this apart. So first let's just try, so I got two washers. This is good. Let's try this. You want some grease on it, because you want it to be able to move well. I mean, this is all the friction and stuff just kind of gets it all messed up. You don't need a lot, but what you don't want is rust. So this is not moving as much. That needs some grease in it. So here's the pull. So when you lift up, right, and then you let it go, it will fall into its own place. Basically falls into its hole. When we twist that rod that we got to install, it falls, right? Then you move it with the rod, and you lift up on the rod, and you give it a jiggle, and then you can drop this thing back down. Now with the ram, this thing had a ram. You could put a ram on it. This would come off. So it's a separate servo. But with the ram, you can just go on the fly. So this is working very good here, as you can see. And then you come back, right? And this is not loose. Sorry for the light. Those are those cheap lights I picked up. They're not bad, but they're not camera lights, you know? I'm gonna watch this handlebars. All right, so back to this. We'll drop this guy down first. And then that gets a pin. I don't think it needs a washer. Put a little grease on this for purposes of disassembly later. That goes through there. And I think it stops about there. Yeah, oh, I'm caught. All the holes in my sweater. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, oh, that's working good. Now, over here, I said, I don't think we need a washer here. But this I'd like to beef up. Yeah, you're not going to get a washer in over here. Too much stuff in here right now. All right, a little chain wax in a few spots. So yeah, just basically go like that, and then you can turn it, and I'll show you from the front in a minute. And then when you get it to where you want, you turn it the other way, you lock in the pole, and you let it down. Let me show you. So you see where the pole is, right? And then when you let it down, it locks into place. Now that chain was for plowing, you know, dirt, and it limits the dive. I tested it with snow. It's not too bad. The one spring allows for some movement until it gets to the point of where the chain stops it. So I'm still experimenting with that, but we could see here. See how far nice that goes? And you push it to where you want it. All right. Lock it back in and let the plow down again. And you're done. You're good to go. So you can see how easy it is with everything lubricated, and things are not really sloppy. That helped a lot, what we just did. All right. And then you'll find a spot. And when you let it down, it really locks in. It could be a bit of a pain in the neck, but that's how this is. Let me throw a little lube on a couple other things, and we'll bring it out and rearrange this thing. Get it kind of ready. I don't know how much snow there's going to be, but we're basically done. You know, the fuel is topped off. I checked the oil recently. It should be fine. I did a tune-up on it, right, when I was doing during the summer with Mike's stuff. But she's a little low on oil. I can see it just from it sitting from that last moment I started it, which was, I don't know, a little while ago now. Let's check again, because you can see she burns oil. She's got a cylinder that's down on power. Yeah, she just needs a little bit from there to there. It's like about 1/4 inch, maybe. Let me see what I got. We're going to want to put oil in it. You know, like I said, it uses it. So, and if I'm out there really using it, like right now, it's not bad, but who knows? This probably won't really snow, but let's just do it. Normally I put a Rotella 1540 diesel because she's beat. You know, the motor's getting beat. And that's generally summer operation. But this oil is pretty new. Like, it looks pretty clean. I got some 1030, which is good. Cam 2, I don't remember what I used it for, but it didn't require the whole quart. I wound up with some extra. That's about 1/2 quart. And this motor holds a decent amount of oil, so let's put the whole 1/2 quart in and let it settle. Yeah, it's not enough to plow, but you know, why bother? But it's all ready. Here we go, we got the chains on. Eventually I'll get the wheel weights on it. I gotta get that set off Big Mike. There's the rod. All right, let's move it back in. Turn it around. And that way I can, with the plow facing out. I got these guys all ready to go. There's the lineup. That one I got a little work to do. I want to adjust the idle on it. So we got to make some, we got to deal with the shroud on it. It's hard to get to, the idle adjustment and everything. With this kind of shroud on it. The high speed, no problem. So that's coming up next. Of course, this guy hasn't really gotten a good workout since I built it last year or redid it. That's sweet. All right, let me get that guy in here. Well, this is a little bit in the way, and that's a little bit in the way. We gotta move, we'll move this. Over a little bit. Oh, perfect. Oh, the garage is getting packed, fellas. But I'm ready. Now, I got the big snow thrower for it. Mike has one too, Big Mike. And he's got the good deck. His is in mid shape. But this one's beat. But a little bit at a time, I fix stuff up and I go and I give it some attention. It still needs some work. The big snow thrower, I mean, considering I have these snow blowers, I don't really need the big snow thrower. We haven't had that kind of a storm. Right before I got it, we did, and I got to try out the 826, and that had some issues, which I think I have ironed out. We still have a few more things to do. I haven't really gotten to the Craftsman, the green Craftsman yet, but you know, you don't really want snow. I think the storm is over. It really wasn't much. It's a dusting. Mike dropped off that big bucket loader. Maybe we'll take a quick look at that here. That thing's pretty nice, but it needs a lot of work. It needs hundreds of dollars in hoses, hundreds, and fittings, hundreds. That's the big expense on it. And hopefully the servos are good, but they're rebuildable, but the hoses have to be replaced. And we could make something to fit it on one of these machines. I think this is a better candidate. His machine, he doesn't really want the plow. The plow for me is very good because when it's slushy, it was supposed to rain, it didn't. When it's real slushy, these big guys over here to my right, they don't handle it. They got the motor, they got the augers, but they don't handle the slush. This does. The plow will do it. And the traction's been getting better. I'm still working on that. I think the bucket loader would be a good thing. My cutting deck is a mess. That needs a lot of work. Once you put a bucket loader on, I don't think you're going to be putting a deck underneath it. It can be difficult. The original one, yeah, but some aftermarket thing that you're modifying, this is really the workhorse. He's got Luxo ride on big property, so he's got Luxo cutting and Luxo snow throwing, and those are the two primary things. We'll see what happens. But pretty easy to do, and I just did a little bit of extra on this one. You can see how easy it is to convert. I like to have the forks on. I do want to pull out that, I think we have the Simplicity Sovereign back there. It's got wheel weights on it and chains, and I'd like to pull the motor off. I really wanted to do that before I put the plow on this thing, but we'll figure that out later. Just another day in the life, fellas, of getting ready for winter in Archer's Garage and just kind of doing my thing. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. A little kind of arch vlog. I'll see you guys later.